All right, so quick tip on what I learned over time as I got better with managing money. Rainy day today, I'm just out here working. Super fun. I love my business and career of real estate, but however, it's not always easy for realtors because you don't always get the chance to make the kind of money right away that you really want to make, right? So every time you make money, it's important that you don't spend it all. So every time you make money, so what I've realized is, the incomes in real estate are sometimes really sporadic, right? And at every level, right? So if you're making 10,000 and to 20,000, right? You might go 20,000 and then you make nothing. If you make 100,000, you might go 100 and then much less. Let's say 60. You might do 500 and then you might do 400,000. You might do, let's say, I don't know, you might do 10 million and then you might drop to 7 million, right? So it's all these roller coasters of ups and downs. But if every time you make the height of what you could have made for that year, that month, that day, if you take that money and you increase your lifestyle just by the same amount, it's absolutely crazy, because what happens is, what if the next month you don't make the same amount, right? Then what? Then you now increase your lifestyle, increase your expenses that aren't exactly giving you money back, right? You didn't buy more real estate. And then what happens is you're chasing it, right? You're like, I gotta do another great month. So what I found to work for me is this. Basically, what I would do is, every time I made money, I first had to learn how to stop spending like a psychopath, right? We live in a culture where we really love to spend money, and that's great, but you got to have security. Security is much more important than driving a nice car, than just anything, right? Security is really important, because then you can build on that. It takes a lot of the pressure off. So what I started doing is write down for the next 30 days all of your expenses that you possibly have. So if your expenses, things being like, you buy a coffee every day, $4 or $5 twice a day, $10 a day times 5 days a week, that's $50. In a month, that's $200 right there, right? Let's say you go out to eat every day or twice a week, you spend $100 every time, right? So that's 2, 4, 6, 800. So just in those two things alone, we just saved you $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month for the next 2 years, and there's other places where you're spending money like that you could be saving, right? So $1,000 a month, you save it for the next 2 years. You have somewhat of a down payment on a condo or a property. That money will be better used long term than you buying coffee. So short term sacrifices for long term pleasure, because it feels much better to own real estate over time than it does to say, I've drank all this coffee or I've eaten all this food, right? So find where your holes are in the way you spend your money and start writing it down. This is number one to changing your financial outlook and thermostat. It starts with the small things, like, what are you blowing your money on that you probably could be saving that money? And then when you see your bank account start to grow, obviously then you can make smarter, bigger decisions. So just something to think about. Peace out.